Oh, hello. My name's Eeek and I run a comedy gaming website. That's me there in the sexy RAF coat. I'm not a member of the Royal Air Force, but I do bloody love a good flight simulator. The only problem is, I don't actually know what any of these buttons are for or what they do. But it doesn't matter! Despite my high rate of failure, I figured it would be fun anyway to take some gamers and other cool folk out for a spin. At the end of the interview, we'll try and land the plane together at their airport of choice. Or any available flat surface, I guess. So, without further ado, I'm gonna plug in my crappy joystick and take to the skies. It's time for another episode of Noobs on a Plane. I am a British gamer who sucks at playing flight sims, interviewing people while we try to land a plane. Hello, cats and kittens, and welcome to yet another episode of Noobs on a Plane. With me is a very special guest. I know I wax lyrical about every guest we've got on here for good reason, but today I am pleased to say we have got one of the finest horror novelists actively writing today. He's fantastic, he's been an inspiration to me and countless others. Today we are pleased to welcome Stephen King's favourite British author, Joseph de Lacy. Joseph, how's it going?
It's going great, Zeke. Thanks for that. Very, very pleased and feeling entirely safe to be sitting on a plane with you at the controls, because I know how good you are with these technical things.
Oh, we're certainly getting there with these. I know what all of these buttons do now. I can land on the tiniest of airstrips and even take off on this, which looks like the most bumpiest airstrip in the world.
It's got a slight camber to it.
It does. I like to call it character. It's got character. Where are we today?
We are in the islands of the Seychelles.
Indeed.
And we're starting off on St. Joseph's, which actually, although it's coincidental, I've never actually been there.
It's a beautiful day. Flying conditions are looking good. The only thing I will point out is that I have tried, well, last night I tried to land at the main island in the Seychelles, and it is a flipping nightmare. The runway is about 6 inches long, it's surrounded by mountains, and on either end of it is just the ocean. So, right, without further ado, are you ready to take off?
I have nothing but confidence in you, Zeke.
Misplaced, but we'll see how this goes.
Wow, that's bouncy.
It's quite useful, actually. I might be able to get air if I hit another one of those ridges.
Hold on.
Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. How shallow did you say the ocean was? Oh, we're up, we're up, we're up. Wow. That was a bit hairy. I thought we were going to die quite prematurely there.
This is what happens to artists, Zeke.
Well, they die in plane crashes in the Seychelles. Does that
No,
happen?
no, I was thinking that they died prematurely.
Oh, I see, right.
Is that where we were?
No, that is another part of the St. Joseph Atoll. It's quite picturesque, actually, in real life as well. You know, I'll put up a picture on the screen for people to see. But, yeah, beautiful. How did you end up in the Seychelles?
Well, my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, said that she had had enough and she was going to go overseas for a year. Mm. And she
had enough of what? Had enough of you?
Well, no, hopefully not me, but I just do whatever she was into, and I had to ask if I could go with her because she didn't invite me.
Right.
But fortunately, she did say yes, and as I mentioned earlier, I was promised work that I could continue doing acupuncture out there and a little practice, and it all sounded rather idyllic. But in the end, there was no job, there was no permit, there was no place to practice. But that was fine because I took my laptop with me and had a year of like serving an apprenticeship, really, in a way. Ooh, the moon!
The moon! We could try and land there, that's got to be easier.
I wonder what happens in this flight simulator if we try and escape the Earth's atmosphere.
Well, I don't quite know how avionics works, or indeed how the atmosphere works, but I think there's like a glass ceiling, isn't there? Like,
Yes.
if you fly, you've got to fly really fast, which is why they've got pointy rockets to smash through the ceiling. And that is also, when they refer to the ozone layer, that's what they're talking about. So,
Do we have fuel issues? I mean, like, if we fly around in stupid circles for hours and hours, will we just fall out of the sky?
it's funny you should mention flying around in circles for hours and hours, because I've just overshot what I was actually aiming for. I literally did just go around in a circle, so back the other way. But in terms of fuel,
You forgot to fill up, didn't you?
I did.
I bet you forgot to go for a wee as well, didn't you, before we got in?
I did. I am bursting. Well, I did. The one thing I did do, is strangely in preparation for this interview, I went and brushed my teeth, just in case my funk came over the airwaves on Skype. Yeah. So you're a horror writer, a very prolific horror writer. Tell us about, what's happened over the last 10 years.
Oh God. I'm glad you've made it specific. I suppose.
So yeah, let me start that again. That was a dreadful question. Tell me about everything that's happened in your life in the next 15 minutes. No, so right. Joseph, you are a horror writer. You've just had a new novel out, Black Feathers, which is doing exceptionally well. How's that all going? I just saw the book trailer, which obviously we'll link to in the description box. Very creepy stuff. Very creepy stuff.
Yeah, it's the book trailer is just it's fantastic, and it completely just out of the blue it happened. To be honest, I didn't have high expectations, because you know how book trailers can be.
Well, to be honest, I didn't know book trailers were a thing, really. I'd seen one or two, but I didn't know they were a kind of widespread thing that most publishers did.
I'm not sure if publishers do it. I've got a feeling it's sort of it's a thing that authors do in general. I mean, does it sell books? I have no idea, but it's something fun to watch on the internet, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is excellent, and if you have written a book and don't have a book trailer, I don't know what's wrong with you. Get on the case, because if that's anything to go by, the Black Feathers trailer, great things. I've not taken the gear up or the flaps. Hang on.
I can see some red lights there.
Yeah,
is that
I've just noticed those. Panic, panic, panic. Which is the button to... There we go. Oh, no, that's not good. I've put more flaps on, which means that the wings are going to fall off. What do I do, Joseph?
I just push that button over there.
That looks good to me. I think we've got it under control, possibly, except we're pointing down. Oh, we could put on autopilot. That might be a good idea.
Well, then you could go and make some cocktails and stop fucking about.
I could go to the toilet.
You could also do that.
So, we go back a reasonable way, don't we? We met through... I was running a 2-bit literary e-zine way back in the day, and you kind of came out of the blue while you were here in the Seychelles and sent one of the most amazing short stories I've ever read, Armageddon Fish Pie, which I will link to below. I think it's still online. Really, really charming story. I really liked it. And then we kind of met through that, and things went from there, didn't they? Yes,
they did. And that, incidentally, that story, Eeek, is going to be in Best of British Science Fiction this year.
No way. Is it really?
Yeah, Salt are bringing out a collection of the best sci-fi from last year up to, and so it'll be in there, believe it or not.
Oh, brilliant! How much in the way of royalties will I be getting for that? That sounds fantastic.
I think you'll do about 37p.
That's better than 10% of what I paid you for the story, which would be 0. So I'm happy with that. That's a net gain for me.
Yeah, it's infinitely better.
Yeah, we met doing that. I was at the time, I was running that. I was studying writing and writing myself and working for. I don't know if anyone watching remembers bookstores. I was working in a bookstore.
I know you said earlier on you were working in a physical bookstore, and I had to think for a moment what one of those was.
I do remember one day when the manager wasn't in, I ordered 15 copies of your debut mainstream novel, Meat. And it was only a tiny bookstore, and I ordered 15 copies. That was more than we had J.K. Rowling at the time.
Oh.
And she came back in a few days later and was like, what the hell's all this? We're never going to sell this garbage. And I was like, no, have faith, we will. And I think we still had 14 copies when they went into liquidation 4 years later. Actually, tell us about Meat, because that was a real breakout success for you. Tremendous novel. I mean, it's still getting reviews to this day, good reviews at that. So tell us a little bit about that and how that came to be.
Okay, well, I will tell you that. I'm just going to warn you that right outside my door, the cleaners are on a mission. So at any point during this flight, you may find them banging on the cabin door, trying to get in to clean the cockpit.
Yeah, I can hear them there.
So I apologise in advance, but I know what they're going to do. They're going to knock on the door and say, "Oh, can we come in and do your polishing?"
So you've got your own maids now, so the writing is doing well for you.
Oh, mate, I've got everything I need. I'm set up. But yeah, Meat was my sixth novel, and in the end was the first one to be published. And it was a novel that, in fact, I'd put it away. I'd written about a third of it, and it was disturbing me so completely that I just thought, oh, I can't write any more of this. It's too grim, because I knew what I was going to have to do in order to bring the story to life, and the things I'd have to do to the characters and all that nasty business. You know, and I suppose at the time, you probably know this, Steve, but every now and again you get a bit disheartened with the whole writing. You know, it's what do you call it? As an occupation, it's a hobby. You know, until you start getting paid serious money, one could argue that serious money, 37p.
Yeah.
It is a hobby in a way, or perhaps it's a vocation. I don't know, but yeah, I just had enough really. And I put the novel away. Thought about doing something else. Had been approaching publishers endlessly for those previous, what, I don't know, 5 years, I suppose, with all the other stuff that I've been doing.
For the viewers at home, can you give us a synopsis of Meat?
Meat is a dystopian horror story, and it's set in a post-apocalyptic future where there's an enclave which remains. It's part of a city that's been sheltered by a quirk of the landscape, and in this city there are two ruling factions, a corporate faction and a religious faction, and between them they control all the food, and the food that everybody eats is meat, and in that society, to not eat meat or to in any way question where the meat comes from, etc., is a kind of blasphemous activity, punishable by becoming part of the food chain. And into this world we meet one of the greatest slaughterhouse. Is, you know, ultimately faces the consequences for that. So yeah, that's not a very good synopsis, is it? But
not really. I've got the book actually here somewhere in the cockpit. I'll just read the back of it for people if you want.
I've got one here too. But anyway, yeah. So that was what kicked it all off for me. I mean, obviously, I'd had a few short stories published before that.
So, I mean, you could really say that I kicked off your career in essence, I suppose.
You could. What was the one?
37p.
You know what, Zeke? I'm going to have to say this in public. I don't think that we can link to that story online anymore because it's going to be.
Oh, because of the book deal.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to apologise to you now and suggest that you quietly remove it.
Hey guys, if you want to buy an upcoming short story anthology, I can heartily recommend something that Salt's putting out later on in the year. Oh, I guess for the next 15 minutes I could just read it out.
God, I think that would be a mistake.
Yes, it would. It would.
Yeah.
As far as the flight's going, I can see the main island. What is the main island called?
Oh, it's called Marhay. Are we within sight?
Yep. I don't know if you can see that off into the horizon. There it is.
Lovely. What a wonderful place.
It's gorgeous. This is going so well. I can't see anything going wrong with the rest of this flight.
No, I can't either. I mean, it's just it's plain sailing.
All right. So we've hit a tropical storm. Things have gone from great to appalling. There's also a nudie mag I've just noticed down there. Is that A naughty magazine?
No, that's The Economist, mate.
Right,
No.
so the problem with this storm is, Jesus Christ. Well, A, we're getting battered around, and B, we can't see the island anymore, so we're going to have to rely on the map somewhat.
Okay. What map is that? You doodled that, didn't you? Well,
I did. I did, yeah. Do you think we should go maybe below the clouds?
I think going below the clouds is a really good idea because we'll be closer to the ocean then, and that's, as everyone knows, is a very safe way to fly.
Well, water's really soft. You can flop into the ocean and, you know, you'll be fine.
Of course.
If push comes to shove.
Yeah, and I'm sure it will.
God, the speedometer and the heightometer is just bouncing around like crazy.
Right. I didn't know they had heightometers anymore in planes.
That's what they call them. That's what they call them. Leave the technical stuff to me. You just talk about books. It's fine. Right, we'll continue to tentatively go down and see what's going on. We're still at 26,000 units of height.
Units of height. Look, instead of saying going down, seeing as we're both in the cockpit, could you probably just say descending?
Yeah, that's probably more family friendly. I haven't a clue. I don't know where the island is. I don't know why the plane is conking out on us. Don't know what's going on. One thing I do know is that your short story collection Splinters is a bloody marvellous read, eh?
Ah, fantastic! I'm so pleased that you even know about it.
Well, there's a reason that I know about it, Joseph, and that's because someone got a little mention in the old acknowledgements.
Oh yes, of course it did.
Yeah, no, I was I'm really, really proud of that. Sitting pride of place next to Philip Pullman, actually. So yes, yeah, very pleased with that. How's that going? Is that selling well?
It's selling quite well, yeah, for what it is. I mean, that nobody really buys short stories or single author collections are quite a niche these days. But yeah, they're going all right actually, and yeah, and it was an easy work. It was an easy work putting it together, where often things can be so difficult.
So you rushed that one then? I hate to interrupt you, but we are in dire straits.
Zeke, are we upside down?
We nearly are upside down. I've totally lost control of this plane. You'll be pleased to hear. Why is this going so out of control? Are the engines down? Who am I kidding? I wouldn't even be able to tell, even if I knew what I was looking at. And now we are upside down. I'm pretty sure that light blue bit is supposed to be below us.
Yeah, is that the...
It's what's commonly referred to as the sky.
Right.
Try and stay in it. Okay, alright, I'm wrestling it back. I think we're fine. What on earth happened there? Oh, I think it's because we're skirting the very edge of this crappy bitmap drawing I did. Since there's nothing to look at, how about we play a game that we like to play every week called Would You Rather?
Oh yeah, I like that game.
It's a great game. I've got a couple of scenarios here that I would like to put to you, Joseph. The first one being, they're all kind of themed around you this week. Would you rather destroy all fiction in the world or all non-fiction?
Oh, that's so easy. I would destroy all non-fiction because, as we know, non-fiction is the greatest fiction of all.
Oh, that is a pithy answer. I like that. Although medical textbooks are quite important, I don't think, say, for instance, meat would be a good substitute for those.
Well, I think it would, because, you know, when somebody gets sick... Oh, look, a gap in the clouds.
Yeah, we've just come into a sandwich of clouds here, which is pretty cool.
Sandwich of clouds.
We'll keep going down, I guess.
Do you mean descending?
Descending. We'll keep descending.
Yeah, no, if people get sick, just eat them. You don't need a textbook for that, mate.
Job done. Would you rather your left leg is always on fire, but it's an ethereal fire, it doesn't burn, it does nothing, it just looks like your left leg's always on fire.
Right.
Or you need to drink a pint of human blood every day.
With the fire thing,
Mm-hmm.
is it gonna be a trouser issue? I mean, you know, is it going to affect my trouser?
Doesn't burn. It looks like your trousers are on fire, but it doesn't rise any more than like just the left leg. It doesn't spread. It doesn't hurt or destroy any clothing.
Wow, I mean, I'm going to have to go with the fire. I mean, first of all, you know, I'm a vegetarian. I'm also not a cannibal, nor am I a vampire. But having your leg on fire and it doesn't hurt, it's almost like a superpower. I would go with that, big time.
A really useless superpower that you need to keep explaining to people on the street that are running up and throwing water at you.
Well, they might just be awed by it. They go, "Here comes the man with one leg of fire," you know.
That is true. You just walk out your front door in the morning and just go, "Flame on!" Hey, oh, check it out. We're under the clouds.
Oh my God, what is that stuff?
We're going at warp speed. Yeah, it's just rain.
I was going to say, you're going very, very fast. Look out for wormholes.
That was close.
Where's the island gone, Z?
That's the other main concern. If I'm being honest with you, and sometimes I'm not, I don't know where the island is.
And look, the red lights are coming on. Fuel, it says fuel.
Fuel, oil. Why do we need oil?
So that we don't chafe.
Check it out.
Oh, look at that. Hey, that's a nice plane, Z.
It's not bad, is it? Not bad.
I think it's so streamlined. I think that might also work as a submarine.
We're going to find out at some point in this adventure.
Look at that piece of beautiful work.
It is nice, isn't it? It's very hard to control when you're in this camera angle, but yeah, it's gorgeous. It'd be remiss of me not to bring up, I'm sure you're sick of being asked this, but the Stephen King connection. Can we talk about that?
We can talk about it.
Cool. So, Stephen King has spoken very, very highly of your work. How did that come around? Because that's amazing. You know, that's the ultimate badge of honour for a horror author, really, isn't it?
Well, it is. It's a really cool thing. It's like, I think it's probably still the high point for me, just to know that somebody whose books I read with such fervour and kind of excitement when I was, you know, more of a youngster, then went on to read something that I wrote, and not only read it but kind of enjoy it enough to say good words about it. Yeah, man, it's very, very cool.
It's not something I want to dwell on because your career's been mostly comprised of highlights, but you mentioned a few years ago, obviously, when Beautiful Books went under, it was a rough time for the industry. Is that still the case, or have you guys figured things out in terms of the whole e-book and print book disparity?
I don't think that the publishing industry as a whole has completely understood what's happening with e-books and the appearance of fiction in an electronic format, and what that means in terms of rights and ownership, and what it means in terms of pricing and distribution, what the future of the physical book is, etc. I don't really think anybody knows. I would not pretend to have any idea where that's going. All I can say to you from a personal point of view is that I still love the feeling of the sensation of holding a book in my hand, and the smell of it, and the knowing that I bought that book and that, you know, I paid my money and it now belongs to me, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
The only way that someone can take it off me is to come into my house and rip it from my blood-stained cold fingers.
Yeah.
Whereas with certain electronic books, you can be in a position where suddenly your account will be deleted and everything that you bought no longer belongs to you.
Yeah, that is true. And when the apocalypse comes, I'd like to see them burn their e-readers. for warmth, cold at night, in the nuclear winter, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, books, I only ever buy leather-bound tomes.
Is that the phone?
It is. Is that your phone or my phone? Or the plane's phone?
I thought that was your phone. Is there a phone on the plane?
Is that honestly not your phone?
Is that a phone there?
Yeah. Was that your phone or was that the plane phone?
Look, I tell you what it is. If you just look at the dashboard there, you can see that it says overspeed. That's because you're going too fast.
I am. I
think what's happened there is that the control tower at Victoria Mahe, they're trying to call saying, "Oi, you, Four Eyes in the plane, settle." Where's Victoria? Can you see Victoria?
I've found it. Essentially, where we're coming in this way. That's the side of the island facing us. It's on the other side. The problem is the runway like kind of goes in that direction.
Yeah.
So I need to get right round and then
You
circle
need to come
back.
around the bottom of the island and then go back up again.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a plan.
Good luck with that, mate.
Thank you.
And hold on, I've just realised I've told you to fly around the bottom of the island.
Yeah.
We're in a plane. We could go straight over the top of it.
Yes, we could. Let's do that. Have I broken everything?
The world has disappeared. Hey, we're in the wormhole.
This bothers me because we're only apparently 8,000 feet off the ground, and I don't know how high the mountains are.
Well, I can assure you they're not 8,000 feet, but if you keep farting around, there's a good chance you'll crash into one of them.
I need to fix this somehow. What?
You do.
Oh, I know. I turned the visibility down to 0.1 meters. That would do it. Beautiful.
Oh, hey up.
Oh, isn't that gorgeous? So
That's super. Right, that's let's have a look. That's Silhouette Island over there.
that one.
Yeah, the big one on the left there,
Yeah.
and then the little one over there. Can't remember what that's called. And then if you look back over to the down there, that's Victoria.
This
I think
little
you
this
probably-
little one here.
Yeah, I think you've probably gone a bit too far.
There it is. There it is. There it is. There's the airstrip there. So I need to actually come right a fair bit. And
So
then-
you're planning to come back along it towards us, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to fly out like that way, so kind of perpendicular and away from it, and then come back round again.
Okay, this is getting kind of interesting.
It's getting serious.
How many units of distance are we away from the runway?
5,897 PF, probably. I think that's what that means.
PF?
Yeah. Pica
Oh.
feet.
Pica feet.
Right, this is getting serious. What am I doing?
Do we have a crosswind?
We don't have a crosswind. We don't have any wind, I don't think.
Okay, well that's good, so that should make it easier.
We're still quite high. Probably need to go down a bit more.
Descending.
Descending.
This is amazing.
My mouth's really dry. And God, I need a wee. Right, let's...
I can't believe you actually didn't.
I'm bursting. Landing gear! Jesus!
For heaven's sake.
Landing gear. Okay, that's down. That's an acceptable speed. 180 speeds.
Okay.
It's a bit steep.
500.
Oh, you,
That's very steep, but there's not enough wiggle room to kind of not touch down now.
right.
Angle's looking good. No, this isn't looking bad, is it?
Not bad.
I just really need to land now, otherwise I'm going to run out of runway. 40, 30. Oh, birds. Those
Where?
bloody
Where?
birds. Every episode, you'll see them.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Ooh.
bit of bounce, bit of bounce. The end of the runway is just
It's
there.
not.
Right, come on, land. Land.
Great.
Brakes. Reverse thrust. Jesus, this is going to be a close one.
That's the danger flag there, look.
Yeah, and we're passing it. Give it a wave as we go past the danger flag. I think we're okay.
Ah!
I think we're okay.
Unbelievable. You've landed in paradise.
Joseph, this is amazing.
Is it a first?
It's the first time we've done a landing as smooth as that, and I think it's all down to you, really.
Well, thank you. You know, I had my hand on the joystick the whole time.
I would have you as a co-pilot any day, mate. Look at us there, sitting proud as punch.
Fabulous.
Man, thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoy catching up with you. We don't do it enough.
No, we don't.
I would like to implore everyone to check out Joseph's fine work. There'll be links and all kinds of stuff in the description box. Any last thing you'd like to plug before we say goodbye?
No, not really, man. I'm just happy. You know, I will see you in real life one of these days, and everybody else I'll see in a book somewhere probably.
Absolutely. I will catch you guys on the next episode. Do add me on Google+. That is what all the cool kids are doing now. Forget Twitter. Add me on Google+ and subscribe to this channel. But more importantly, we have got a charity fundraiser that we've had going on for quite some time now. Most of you are aware of it, but there'll be a link below. We've raised $1,200 for Child's Play charity so far, so do help out with that. And we will see you on the Flip Flap. Catch you later. Has anyone told you to get a haircut yet?
Yep. Many people.
I wanted to be the first.
No, I'm sorry, Zeke. Man, you used to have long hair.
I had well long hair, yeah, I did. Yeah, no, I look like a right tit.
Well, that makes us a pair of boobs then, doesn't it?
I guess it does. A lovely pair of boobs.
A lovely pair of noob boobs. I was hoping we could come round to noobing and boobing, and here we are.